Visual Basic for applications, the language you use to program Access, is an object-oriented programming language. In this movie, I will introduce object-oriented programming as a concept before moving on to the specifics of Access VBA in subsequent movies. For our purposes, a programming language is a system of statements that are used to manipulate a computer. At a practical minimum, a programming language must give you the ability to accept data input, store the data, manipulate the data, and then send the results of those manipulations to an output device such as your monitor, a file, or a printer. Input, storage, manipulation, and output. Every programming language must have those basic features. The question then becomes, how do you design a programming language so humans can create meaningful sets of instructions? There are many ways to do it, but the two organizational concepts I'll cover are procedural programming languages and object-oriented programming languages. A procedural programming language focuses on the data and the tasks required to produce a result. You break everything down into tasks, write your programming instructions in a series of what are called subroutines, and then use logic to decide which instructions to follow. Object-oriented programming, by contrast, focuses on the objects involved in a calculation. As an example, think of a car. You can describe the car, specify actions you can perform with the car, and enumerate things that can happen to the car. These three types of characteristics form the backbone of object-oriented programming. Descriptive items are called properties. For a car, you can have properties that store the car's manufacturer, model, year, color, and price. Actions you can perform with a car are called methods and are described using verbs. For example, you can drive a car, park a car, or wash a car. Things that can happen to a car are called events. Some events mirror the object's methods, such as a car being started or being parked. The difference is that when an event such as a car being started occurs, the program detects the change in the car's state and runs any instructions you want to be run when that event occurs. For example, your car's onboard computer could be programmed to turn on the car's headlights when you start it. If you create an event called car_onStart, the instructions you include in that event's definition will run whenever someone starts the car. Object-oriented programming was the hot new thing in the late 1980s and early 1990s, and languages such as Smalltalk and Objective-C provided some neat capabilities that weren't easy to build into procedural languages. However, as with most new things, some advocates claimed these techniques would deliver benefits that just were not possible. Object-oriented programming is a powerful paradigm, especially when you use it to work with programs such as Microsoft Access. But at its base, it's just another way of organizing the same properties, methods, and events you work with in procedural languages. In the next movie, I will introduce the Access Object Model, which gives you the hooks you need to manipulate Access databases, database objects, and the application itself.